right, Brady, obviously coming back to Tempe, rejoining the Sun Devil football program. Walk our listeners and viewers how this opportunity came up and why it was the right move for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously always stayed in touch with Coach Dillingham just from the strong relationship that we have, and it's been fun to follow his success and throughout his journey in college football. But it really just came from a phone call. I was back home and got a phone call from Coach Dillingham, letting me know that there was an opportunity available, and then got to talk more to him about that, and also talk with Coach Arroyo, and things just kept rolling from there. And within a few days, the things went in my favor, and they offered me the job, and then I was able to get out here shortly after that, and now we're kind of settled in here in Tempe and excited to be Sun Devils again.
All right, so kind of maybe the three-part question here. Obviously, you mentioned the relationship with Kenny Dillingham goes back quite a ways. Obviously, his origins kind of as a member of the staff, I believe at GA at the time during your playing days. What are the things that kind of when you harken back to those days when you were a player for the Sun Devils that you remember about Kenny the GA?
Yeah, I mean, I got to not only be with Kenny when he was first getting started here at Arizona State, but also when he was a play caller at Memphis. And so the one thing I know about Kenny is he's extremely intelligent and bright, and he's bringing a lot of energy. Obviously, extremely passionate and energetic, and so I think he's shown that to his hometown here in Tempe, in the Valley of Arizona, and I'm excited to be joining his staff.
What are some of the things that you think that when you guys were at Memphis together, and you obviously were having tremendous success, throwing for over 10,000 yards? What were some of the things that he kind of imparted upon you that allowed you to have that success?
Yeah, we worked really well together. I remember, he's a great teacher of football, and really gives, boosts confidence in his players, really empowers them, and gives them all the tools and the knowledge to be prepared to step on that field and give your best every day. And so it was a lot of fun and a great experience to play for him. And also he's big on the relationship piece. And I think that's a strength of his. And that's something that is truly special to find in college football nowadays, especially. A really good person and human being, not just a coach, who really genuinely cares about you. And so to be a part, to be, right next to that guy day in and day out, and to be a part of his journey and to be a part of his staff, it's a great honor and privilege. And so I'm excited to get started.
Of course, going back to those days when he was GA, you were a Sun Devil quarterback. Unfortunately, your time here in Tempe was marred by injury in that one start and not a whole lot of playing time. But when you look back on your days, your first, and I guess we can say now as a Sun Devil, what were some of the most the fondest memories that you have?
Yeah, I absolutely love Arizona. I obviously picked ASU over a bunch of different options coming out of high school, and that would have never changed if I could go back. This is a special place, fantastic university, and obviously I've been able to connect and get to know a lot of really, really unique and special individuals, starting here in Arizona. And so, while I wasn't able to play a ton, and the one start I got, you suffer a season-ending injury that kind of puts you out for some time. I've found a place that, has brought me a ton of amazing relationships, whether it's, close friends. I've obviously known my wife since high school, but, she was also a Sun Devil, and then obviously a myriad of relationships throughout the coaching business, and plenty of teammates that have gone on to play professionally, that go on to coach, that go on to do, things in their own lives, that you just stay in touch and continue to grow those relationships. And so it's always been a place that's been near and dear to my heart. And I'm really excited to, be bringing my wife and I back to Arizona State.
What's it been like just knowing that you're seeing over the years so many members of that Sun Devil staff, whether it's Kenny, the Dan Lanning, Mike Norvell, of course, that you teamed up with her to great success in Memphis. Just so many of those names that you knew and got to work with on a day in, day out basis, having massive impact on the college sport or college football landscape now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. I think it speaks volumes, to obviously the people and the coaches that have come through this place. And, you got to give credit to the coaching staff that, Coach Graham had put together in those years. And, like you mentioned, it's just incredible to see, not just the amount of good coaches, but guys that are like considered stars in the profession now and having, massive impacts on the game and, are running top tier programs. So, to be able to have been here with all those people and, to know them and have relationships and gotten to experience how they coached and learn some things, along the way, and obviously continue to do that now. Really cool experience. So that's, a great kind of honor that I've had.
Of course, you go off to Memphis and throw for a bunch of yards, a bunch of touchdowns, all kinds of records that you have for the Tigers still. Obviously you had great success off the field as well. When you look at the totality of your college career, what are the accomplishments you're most proud of?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I saying doing all that on the field wasn't an absolute blast in the time of my life. So it was tons of fun to have taken that field and had, massive amounts of success with the coaches and the teammates and the people in the building day in and day out. I was very blessed to have been with those guys and to have played with awesome guys alongside me. I definitely need to make sure that I give all those guys the credit and the great coaching staffs that I've been a part of. I'd also, I'm super proud of, I think, the accomplishments off the field as well. That's something that I've always prided myself in is, taking care of my business in the classroom, but also, giving back to the community and making sure that, whatever platform and stage that I have, using that, for the benefit of others and, the people around me. And I feel like I did that. I feel like I had a positive impact in the places that I've been. And so those things are things that I'm always going to, be proud to hang my hat on, as well as the football accomplishments. But, I think it feels even better to be a better man and a better person on top of being a good football player.
Of course, it runs in the family a bit, but when did the idea of jumping into coaching whenever your playing days were over kind of first pop into your head?
Yeah, it's funny, I was always told by, these coaches that have coached me, like, whenever you're done, you're going to play a while, and whenever you're done, you're going to be a phenomenal coach. And I always heard that, but you're so set on, accomplishing your goals and playing as long as you can. I think it's always been in the back of my mind, something that I've known I want to do eventually. And I've had the great privilege to have been coached by, my father, who's a fantastic dad, but also, he was a wonderful coach growing up, and then getting into high school and having some legendary coaching staffs with Coach Harrington. And then obviously, we've already touched on the people that I've been able to connect with in my college career. And I just love this game, man. This thing is my drug. I'm addicted to it, and I love everything about it. And so it was a pretty easy choice, once I decided to finish playing, to make the transition. And I'm very, very fortunate and blessed that Coach Silverfield helped me get started with that out in Memphis, and now we are where we are today.
As you mentioned, in Memphis, working with the wide receivers over there, and it sounds like he'll be doing the same here in Tempe with the Sun Devil receivers. What's it been like just kind of, making that mark from, going to the other side of that passing connection?
Yeah, it's been, obviously there's little things here and there and details and nuances to learn. And I've had great, people to learn from out back in Memphis, but also here, obviously with Coach Samples being a fantastic coach with a fantastic resume. I'm really excited to work alongside him, day in and day out, and learn from him. But it's been really fun, and it's a very easy transition, for me, since I was able, those are the guys that I've been working with my entire career. Whether I was intentionally doing it or not, you're always communicating with them, connecting with them, because those are the guys that, you have to be yin and yang with. You got to be super tight with on and off the field. So for me, when I was, first getting into coaching and had that job, it was a pretty smooth transition. And like I said, you kind of learn the day in and day out duties, certain things that you need to do in order to help them be best prepared and to benefit them as you go. But I'm really excited to kind of pick that back up here and see the guys that we have in our room and get them ready for the fall.
You touched on Rashad Samples, one of the rising stars in the profession. Kenny Dillingham last year, a few times actually said he's probably going to be the next youngest head coach in major college football. Just early on, some early impressions about Coach Samples, and what do you think you guys can accomplish together?
Yeah, well, so far it's been communication through the phone because he's been on the road recruiting. So I have yet to meet Coach Samples in person because he's busy right now, which is good. But no, it's funny. I was actually in Memphis when I first saw his name. Me and someone else on our staff were just looking at NFL coaching staffs and saw this young coach for the Rams, and I was just extremely impressed. And obviously, I've had a teammate who played for the Rams, and Daryl Henderson, who was a running back. So Coach Samples was probably coaching him. So I'm excited to connect with him on that. But I've heard nothing but extremely positive things. I know that you don't get where he's at without being a guy that deserves it and works his ass off, and obviously is extremely intelligent and talented. And so, getting to meet him here soon, probably this week, and being able to work with him, I'm really excited to pick his brain, to be learning from him. And I agree with Coach Dillingham. He's probably going to have a pretty significant role here in college football quickly.
And of course, still early, but this is a receiver group that has one of the conference's best, and Elijah Badger, some other guys, some very talented guys. Jake Smith's now going to be eligible to play. What's your kind of early read on just this 2024 group of Sun Devil wide receivers? Kind of obviously early on.
Yeah, it's been fun to follow this group. Obviously being a former Sun Devil and alum, I've always kept tabs on the team, and obviously with Coach Dillingham here, I watched a lot of their games. Even across the country, and you get to see, the skill level and the talent that this group has. And, getting here not too long ago, just picking the brains of the staff that's here in town about those guys. You get to hear a lot of really good remarks, things that you want to hear as a guy who's going to be in that room, coaching those guys every day. And it's been fun to watch them, go to work every day. Since I've been here, obviously they're in their workout programs, and they're kind of grinding away, and it's been fun to just go introduce myself, get to know them a little bit early here, and watch them, their work ethic. And you can see, some of those traits and those skill sets come out in some of those drills. But I'm really excited for when we get started here soon officially, and to get to know them more, learn about them, hear what makes them tick, and what their dreams and aspirations are, and help them achieve those.
As you mentioned, so many people telling you that you have a bright future in coaching, and just a young guy getting started in this business. What are the long-term goals in the profession? What do you hope to accomplish as a coach?
Yeah, I'm obviously really excited to see what this journey has for me. It is crazy, but it's super fun, and I'm blessed to be in the position I am. I've got my dreams and aspirations. Obviously, want to continue to elevate and grow in the college football, world and in the coaching profession. And I know that'll come with time. So we'll see. I've got my goals, but I've shared this with a bunch of people. In my short time as a coach, I've already heard from many people that it's very important to be where your feet are at. It's very easy to get ahead of yourself and just be going and trying to, accomplish and achieve and continue to level up. And obviously you do that and you work hard and you have, the things that you want to attain. But something big for me is I really want to just enjoy this moment. I want to enjoy this stage in my career as a coach and be very present with this group, give them everything I've got, my heart and soul, and give back to this community of Tempe and all the Sun Devils here. And I really want to help these kids, man, grow to be better football players and achieve their dreams of playing hopefully at the next level, but also to develop as young men. And, if I can share just a little bit of wisdom from my experience and help them, get 1% better, I'll feel really good about myself.